Passion Jesus 38 The 7 words of Christ on the cross, 4 minutes. What are the 7 words of Christ on the cross? The 7 words of Christ on the cross, it must be understood that they are the spiritual testament of God. If we take them only as human words, we get the agony of a man who takes care of his mother, who is thirsty because he is physically thirsty. If, on the other hand, we understand that God gives us his ultimate spiritual testament, in an extremely strong way, much stronger than all the speeches that St. John reports, the priestly prayer for example, which is long, which is complex to understand, then we can enter into these words. Some of these words are embarrassing, although we see, here and there, certain Protestant churches, which make them purely human. I think of the following word: when he saw John, he said to him, "Here is your mother." And seeing, near Jean, his mother, he said, "Here is your son." From that moment this disciple made Mary his mother. If it is human speech, it means that Jesus gives John, his beloved disciple, the supervision of his mother in his old age. But it's a word from God. If it is a word from God, it means that he entrusts to his mother the growth of the spiritual life of him who is his beloved disciple. It's an ultimate secret. Everyone to see. In any case, here is the list of the 7 words and then I will study them one by one, very quickly. Arriving at the cross, being crucified, Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, they do not know what they are doing." That means that he takes on him the part of sin that really has an extenuating circumstance, for these men. Then, to a bandit who defends himself at the cross, he says, "Today, with me, you will be in paradise," which has an immense consequence for faith in the survival of the soul, in the eternal life open now. Third word, when he sees his mother at the foot of the cross, completely faithful to John, the disciple whom Jesus loved, he said to his mother, "Behold your son," and he said to this son, "Here is your mother." Fourth word, it is without doubt the center of all the suffering of Christ, the night of the total spirit, my God, why did you abandon me?" Witnesses believe he calls Elijah because he said it in Hebrew. Eli, Eli lama sabachthani. It is the beginning of a psalm and, in any case, it indicates the degree of night of the spirit that Christ lives. Then he says, "I'm thirsty," and the people who are there, the soldiers seeing all the earthquake, the night which rages, take a sponge to give him to drink a little vinegar. Then he said, "Everything is done." It means that all the degrees of suffering could have been accomplished by him. And finally, "Father, in your hands, I put my spirit back." Then uttering a loud cry, he gives the spirit back to God. If we consider these words as a whole, we see that they start from love for the misery of these poor sinners for whom he dies. Then he explains the purpose of it all. You will be you, poor sinner, repentant, in paradise today. Then they express how far Christ suffered, so far as to know the most ultimate suffering, despair. Then everything is finished. And, at the heart of it all, he leaves us his mother. It deals with the growth of our spiritual life. She is a collaborator of this salvation, because she understands everything, she lives everything and she answers, yes on our behalf. She is the new Eve. Obviously, these words must also be understood in the light of the resurrection. If it were only that, we would face the terrible fate of the sons of men who pass on earth and who all end up dying. But, if there is the resurrection, we see that, going through this death, it is towards eternal victory, that Jesus Christ takes us.